Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Beyond the Gates channel. Hope you're having a wonderful day. Before we begin, don't forget to subscribe and hit like for more daily drama updates and spoilers. Your support truly means a lot and helps our channel grow every day. The next 2 weeks on Beyond the Gates promise to push Fairmont Crest into even darker and more dangerous territory, with secrets, threats, betrayals, and desperate schemes colliding from August 24th through September 4th. Danny Dupree is about to reach her breaking point as one crisis after another begins closing in around her, while Haley Lawson's carefully constructed web of lies finally starts to unravel when her own husband catches her red-handed. At the same time, Chelsea Hamilton is thrown into another terrifying spiral as disturbing contact from her obsessive ex resurfaces. Anita Dupree struggles under the weight of another painful setback, and Andre Richardson is forced to confront the messy secrets of his past. The biggest question is not whether Andre will finally come clean, but who he will choose to tell when the truth becomes impossible to hide. As these 2 weeks unfold, nearly every relationship seems to be standing on unstable ground, and one wrong move could send everything crashing down. Monday, August 24th, begins with Haley getting exactly what she wants from Ashley Morgan. And, considering what Haley has been planning, that victory is anything but innocent. The only thing Haley has been demanding from Ashley is Bill Hamilton's discharge papers, which strongly suggests that Bill is finally coming home, and that is exactly where Haley wants him. She has already been thinking several steps ahead, preparing a potentially lethal dose of poison that she intends to slip into Bill's food, drink, or perhaps even a smoothie. But she knows she cannot risk doing it where someone might see her. Haley needs to carry out the plan on her own turf, away from suspicious eyes and unexpected interruptions, making Bill's return home potentially far more dangerous than he realizes. But before she can focus entirely on her murderous scheme, Haley has another battle waiting for her because Danny is still furious and their hatred for each other is becoming impossible to contain. The two women face off in Bill's office, continuing the explosive confrontation from Friday, and Danny makes it clear that she cannot understand what she and Andre have, because in her eyes, their relationship is rooted in genuine love. Haley, however, has no intention of accepting Donnie's version of reality, and she fires back with a cruel reminder that if Donnie's relationship with Andre is so secure, then why is she constantly sniffing around Haley's marriage and her man Bill? The confrontation only adds another layer of bitterness between them, because neither woman seems willing to retreat or admit that the situation has become dangerously personal. Danny's troubles continue when Vernon Dupree and Anita call her onto the carpet, apparently wanting answers about some of her recent words and actions, with Bill likely sitting somewhere near the center of their concerns. Danny will insist that she is simply looking out for her daughter's father, but the intensity surrounding Bill suggests there is much more happening beneath the surface. Meanwhile, Chelsea's nightmare begins to intensify on the 1-year anniversary of her kidnapping, when the disturbing phone calls continue, filled with heavy breathing, followed by sudden hang-ups. Kat Richardson took one of those calls on Friday and already admitted how creepy the situation was. But Chelsea is convinced this is not some strange coincidence, and she is beginning to panic as the memories of what happened to her come rushing back. Kat does everything she can to comfort Chelsea, but the fear is too real to simply talk away. And this week, she takes the next step by going to the police station to tell Jacob Hawthorne exactly what has been happening. Kat raises the terrifying possibility that Allison Bailey may somehow have escaped, turning what initially looked like disturbing phone calls into a much larger threat. Then, Tuesday, August 25th, brings another piece of unsettling information when Randy Parker arrives with major news for Joey Armstrong, something he may have discovered while keeping a close eye on Heather Armstrong. Randy could have spotted Andre visiting Heather at her hotel room, or perhaps he has seen Heather circling around Smitty, because Heather is becoming increasingly aggressive toward the journalist who continues exposing her red market operation. Bradley Smitty Smith has put Heather's dangerous activities on the front pages, and now she may be considering just how far she is willing to go to silence him permanently. With Heather feeling cornered, Smitty's determination to uncover the truth could put him directly in the line of fire. At the same time, Andre receives a chilling text from an unknown sender that contains only 2 words: "TikTok." The message immediately captures his attention, and he stares at the screen in distraction until Danny has to call his name to bring him back to the moment. There is little doubt that the message is connected to Heather, a calculated reminder that she believes time is running out and that Andre still owes her something she desperately wants. By the end of the week, Andre finds himself back at Heather's hotel room, where she tells him she knew he would not be able to stay away. And the reason he keeps returning is becoming increasingly clear. Heather is threatening him and refusing to release her grip. Elsewhere, Vanessa McBride decides that she wants to make a major overhaul, although exactly what she intends to change remains uncertain. It could involve her relationship with Joey, his apartment, or perhaps the house she once shared with Doug McBride, a place she barely spends time in anymore. While June turns her attention toward a heartbroken Tyrell Richardson and offers him the comfort he desperately needs after Jessica dumped him. Wednesday, August 26, brings another unexpected collision when Carlton Fitzgerald runs into someone he never expected to see. That person could very well be Nicole Dupree Richardson, adding another complication to Nicole's already complicated world. Meanwhile, Danny continues searching for answers, possibly trying to uncover the truth about Haley or understand why Andre has suddenly become so distracted and distant. But her investigation is abruptly cut short before she can get everything she wants. Mona, meanwhile, has Joey back in her sights, and the seemingly innocent church lady is once again working her way into his orbit with another scheme. She already managed to surprise Joey during their last card game, and it appears she may have another unexpected move waiting for him, proving that Joey should probably know by now never to underestimate Mona. Ted Richardson also shares an emotional conversation with Nicole, and the subject could involve her growing relationship with Keal Rollins, his own relationship with Shanice Johnson, or perhaps both situations at once. As emotions become more complicated, Heather is once again consumed by anger and begins lashing out, and there is a strong possibility that Andre has irritated her by rejecting her yet again. However, Heather's fury could just as easily be directed towards Smitty, whose determination to expose the mysterious impaler is becoming more dangerous by the day. Heather absolutely does not want her identity revealed, and if she believes Smitty is getting too close to the truth, she may decide that stopping him is worth any risk. The tension surrounding Heather, Andre, and Smitty is therefore building towards something that could become explosive, especially if Heather feels she is running out of ways to control the people around her. By Thursday, August 27, another family conflict begins to take shape as Nicole and Kat clash, possibly over the Nikki handbag that Anita previously warned could cause serious problems with Nicole. Nicole has never been particularly fond of nicknames, and Leslie is already someone who calls her that. So Kat using the same name could easily become another spark in an already tense relationship. Elsewhere, Bill approaches Naomi Hamilton Hawthorne with an important proposition, and it may involve asking her to run the firm while he recovers from his pacemaker surgery. Naomi could suddenly find herself carrying more responsibility than expected, but Tomas is unlikely to be pleased with the arrangement. In fact, Tomas turns to Eva Thomas Richardson for support, putting Eva directly in the middle of the situation, even though she has already told Tomas that he should go talk to Kat instead of coming to her with his problems. Eva is already on edge when she spots Kat spending time with Isaiah Hawthorne at Orphe Jeans, and her reaction is anything but subtle. She greets Kat with a burst of exaggerated enthusiasm before deliberately covering Isaiah's face with loud kisses right in front of her, making it clear that there is tension beneath the surface. It raises the question of whether Eva will eventually tell her sister that Tomas Navarro stopped by to see her, potentially opening another door to conflict. Meanwhile, a stressed Andre visits Ted at the office, and Ted immediately senses that something is wrong, asking whether Andre is in trouble. Andre finally begins to spill what is happening, although it remains unclear whether he will reveal the entire truth about Heather, including the terrifying fact that she has been stalking him and using threats to keep him trapped in her world. There is another complication because Heather is also Joey's sister, meaning Andre's secret is tangled into the lives of even more people than he may realize. Someone also asks Ted what is going on with Andre, but Ted refuses to reveal the truth, suggesting that whatever Andre has confessed is something Ted believes should remain private for now. That person could potentially be Danny, especially considering how closely she has been watching Andre's strange behavior, while Isaiah may also be preparing to take his relationship with Eva to another level after sharing something significant with Jacob this week. Every conversation seems to carry a hidden meaning, and every secret appears to be inching closer to exposure. Then Friday, August 28th arrives with the moment Haley has been desperately trying to avoid. Haley is increasingly unhappy about Naomi being around more and more, especially because Naomi is not only her former best friend, but also her resentful stepdaughter, making every interaction between them feel like another reminder of the life Haley has damaged. Yet, while Haley is busy hassling Naomi and manipulating Bill, she finally gets caught in the middle of her own deception. She rushes to meet Randy at Uptown and confidently tells him that with any luck, Bill will be dead by the time she gets home. A chilling statement that reveals just how far her plan has gone. Haley laughs as she speaks and places her hand on Randy's arm, seemingly believing that everything is finally falling into place. The problem is that Bill does not stay home waiting for death. Haley appears to have left him a poisoned smoothie and deliberately planned to remain away until he was dead. But Bill follows her instead, and what he sees could completely destroy the story she has been telling him. He catches Haley with Randy, and given all the rumors surrounding their supposed affair, Bill may immediately assume the worst. Suddenly, Haley's carefully controlled world begins collapsing around her, because she has not only left evidence of a potential murder plot behind, but she has also been caught with another man while her husband is already suspicious. The real question becomes what lie Haley will invent when Bill confronts her and she realizes she has nowhere left to hide. For someone who has spent so long manipulating everyone around her, this could be the moment when the truth finally starts fighting its way into the light. Elsewhere, Smitty unintentionally causes even more anxiety for Chelsea and Kat when he shares disturbing information that appears to involve Allison. His news may be serious enough to make Chelsea fear for her own safety all over again, especially with the anniversary of her kidnapping still hanging over the family like a dark shadow. And Smitty may not be the only person carrying frightening information, because Jacob receives upsetting news from his father, Elon Hawthorne. That revelation could concern Allison, the mysterious impaler, or both. And either possibility would be enough to send another wave of fear through the people already trying to protect Chelsea. Meanwhile, Anita finds herself uncertain about an important opportunity, and that may have something to do with her continuing struggle to regain her voice after chemotherapy. She and Tracy and Sharon have been planning recording sessions for Art Techlet's songs, but if Anita's voice does not return as hoped, those plans could suddenly be thrown into uncertainty. By the end of the week, Vernon is pushed into crisis mode, and the reason could involve protecting Chelsea or dealing with Anita's growing frustrations. Either way, the pressure on the Dupree family is reaching a dangerous level, with one crisis feeding directly into another and leaving very little room for anyone to breathe. Then, as the story moves into the week of August 31st through September 4th, Bill is still dealing with the shock of catching Haley with Randy. And he may turn to Joey, or even run straight to Danny for answers and support. Whatever choice he makes, Bill is going to be watching Haley much more closely from this point forward, and he needs to be extremely careful, because the woman he married is not simply hiding an affair rumor she may be willing to kill him. The danger inside Bill's own home is therefore becoming more frightening than anything happening outside it. Andre has already told Heather that he intends to tell Danny about their history, but Heather is continuing to play her dangerous game of cat and mouse. She refuses to let Andre go and appears determined to keep pushing until she gets him back into her bed, no matter how many threats or manipulations it takes. Smitty is clearly in danger, and Danny could potentially become a target as well, but there is one person who may remain relatively safe for now: Andre. As long as Heather continues to believe there is still a chance of getting him back. Randy may also be tasked with keeping a close eye on Heather, and if he manages to obtain photographic evidence of what she has been doing, the consequences could be enormous. If Randy gets pictures of Andre and Heather together, he could suddenly possess the kind of proof capable of blowing the entire secret wide open. At the same time, Chelsea receives more information about her stalker ex Allison, and her fears expand beyond herself as she begins worrying about Madison's safety too. After the disturbing updates from Smitty and Elon, it is likely that the entire family will be on edge, wondering just how close Allison may be and whether the threat is becoming more immediate. Anita continues struggling with her voice, and that problem could seriously derail the planned recording sessions with Devin and the Articulates, adding another painful obstacle to a situation that is already emotionally exhausting. Meanwhile, tension continues building between Naomi and Tomas at the law office, creating yet another source of conflict, just as Bill's return and Haley's deception threaten to turn everything upside down. With stalkers closing in, dangerous secrets threatening to surface, marriages cracking under pressure, and desperate people making increasingly reckless choices. The next 2 weeks of Beyond the Gates are shaping up to be a tense and explosive stretch where almost anyone could be pushed past the point of no return. The danger surrounding Haley is only becoming more intense as the consequences of her choices begin closing in from every direction. Bill has now seen enough to make him suspicious, but the real threat is that he still does not know the full truth about what happened behind his back. Haley has spent so much time controlling the narrative, manipulating Randy, deceiving Bill, and keeping everyone distracted that she may believe she can still talk her way out of the situation. But once Bill starts watching her every move, even the smallest inconsistency could expose the entire scheme. The woman who thought she was orchestrating the perfect murder may suddenly find herself fighting simply to keep her own secrets alive. And with Randy potentially holding information that could connect Haley to everything she has been doing, her carefully protected world may be closer to collapsing than she realizes. Meanwhile, Andre's situation is becoming equally dangerous because Heather is refusing to accept that their relationship is over. Every time Andre attempts to distance himself, Heather seems to find another way to pull him back into her orbit, using threats, fear, and the secrets they share as weapons against him. His promise to tell Danny about their past could be the beginning of the end for Heather's control, but revealing the truth could also put Andre directly in the middle of an emotional explosion. Danny already senses that something is wrong with him, and she has been searching for answers while watching his strange behavior become harder to explain. If she finally learns that Heather has been stalking Andre and manipulating him, the betrayal could cut deeply, especially because Andre has kept so much from her. The question now is whether Andre will finally choose honesty before Heather forces the truth into the open herself. And while Andre is fighting one battle in secret, Smitty is moving closer to another that could put his life in serious danger. His investigation into the Impaler and Heather's red market operation has already made him a target, and every new piece of information he uncovers gives Heather another reason to want him silenced. Smitty may believe that exposing the truth will protect innocent people, but he could be underestimating just how ruthless Heather can become when she feels cornered. The disturbing information he shares with Chelsea and Kat may be only the beginning of what he has discovered. And if Allison is somehow connected to the latest developments, the danger could spread far beyond Smitty himself. Chelsea is already living with the psychological scars of her kidnapping, so learning that Allison might still be out there could reopen wounds she has spent an entire year trying to survive. Now, the people closest to her have to consider not only how to protect Chelsea, but how to protect Madison and everyone else who could become part of Allison's next move. At the same time, Anita's struggle carries a quieter but deeply emotional kind of danger. Her difficulty with her voice after chemotherapy is not simply a professional obstacle, because singing and recording represent something deeply personal that she has been trying to reclaim. The planned sessions with Tracy, Sharon, Devin, and the Articolettes give her something to look forward to, a reason to believe that life can slowly return to something resembling normal. But if her voice does not come back in time, Anita may be forced to confront another painful reminder of everything she has endured. That uncertainty could explain why she seems increasingly unsure about the opportunity in front of her, while Vernon becomes more desperate to protect his family from yet another crisis. The emotional pressure could eventually become too much for both of them, especially when Chelsea's safety is already hanging over the family. Elsewhere, Naomi and Tomas are heading toward another uncomfortable confrontation at the law office. Bill's decision to involve Naomi more heavily in the firm while he recovers from his pacemaker surgery could place her in a powerful position. But that responsibility may also create resentment and friction with Tomas. Their professional environment is already complicated by personal feelings, old loyalties, and shifting relationships, and Bill's absence could make every existing tension more difficult to contain. Naomi may find herself having to prove that she can handle the responsibility, while Tomas struggles with the fact that decisions are being made around him. And with Haley constantly interfering in the lives of the people around her, even a seemingly ordinary disagreement at the firm could quickly become something much bigger. The family dynamics surrounding Nicole and Kat also remain fragile, particularly after their clash over the nickname Nikki and the handbag that Anita warned could cause problems. What may appear to be a small disagreement on the surface could actually expose deeper frustrations that have been building for some time. Nicole is already dealing with changes in her personal life, especially as her relationship with Kial appears to be becoming more serious. And Ted's emotional conversation with her suggests that those changes are being noticed by the people closest to her. At the same time, Carlton's unexpected encounter could bring another old connection or unresolved issue back into the picture. With Nicole searching for balance between family expectations and her own desires, the next confrontation may reveal far more than anyone initially intended. And then there is Joey, who continues finding himself surrounded by women with their own agendas. Mona's return to his orbit is particularly intriguing because she has already demonstrated that she is capable of catching Joey off guard. Her card game victory may have looked harmless at first, but her ability to surprise him suggests that she knows more than she lets on. Vanessa is also making changes and talking about a major overhaul, leaving questions about whether she is preparing to reshape her relationship with Joey, his living situation, or the life she once shared with Doug. With so many shifting alliances around Joey, he may soon discover that staying neutral is becoming impossible. Every choice he makes could place him on one side of a conflict he never intended to join. Even Eva and Tomas remain surrounded by uncertainty, especially after Tomas turns to Eva for support, despite her repeated insistence that he should take his problems to Kat instead. Eva's reaction to seeing Kat with Isaiah at Orphe Jeans suggests that jealousy and insecurity are already simmering beneath her surface, and her exaggerated display of affection toward Isaiah only makes the situation more complicated. If Eva reveals that Tomas came to see her, she could unintentionally ignite another conflict between the people involved. Isaiah, meanwhile, appears to be considering whether he is ready to move his relationship with Eva forward, particularly after sharing something important with Jacob. The emotional landscape is shifting rapidly, and relationships that once seemed stable are suddenly filled with questions. As the first days of September approach, Beyond the Gates appears to be building toward a chain reaction in which one secret could expose another. Haley may be forced to explain why Bill found her with Randy, while Bill quietly begins questioning whether the woman he trusted is actually capable of killing him. Andre could finally confess the truth about Heather, but doing so may unleash consequences that affect Danny, Joey, and everyone connected to them. Smitty could uncover enough evidence to expose Heather, yet every step closer to the truth also brings him closer to danger. And somewhere in the background, Allison's shadow continues haunting Chelsea, threatening to turn a painful anniversary into the beginning of another nightmare. What makes these 2 weeks so explosive is that nobody seems to have enough time to recover before the next crisis arrives. Danny is searching for answers while trying to protect the people she loves. Anita is struggling to regain something she thought she could depend on. Chelsea is fighting fear that refuses to disappear. And Andre is trapped between the woman he loves and the woman who refuses to let him go. Haley, meanwhile, may have believed that poisoning Bill would solve her problems, only to discover that getting caught could create an even greater danger for her. As September begins, every character appears to be standing at the edge of a decision that could permanently change their lives. And with secrets finally threatening to surface, the next chapter of Beyond the Gates could prove that sometimes the most dangerous person is not the one hiding in the shadows, but the one standing right beside you.